What's up, y'all? Today we're going to go over some suspicious things that have been going on in the NBA lately. We're going to go over live betting and things I look for when you live bet. Then we're going to get right into my picks and slips for the day, so let's get it. Some weird stuff has been happening lately, and here's a great example. Cade Cunningham did not play the last 18 minutes of a close game versus the Raptors. Oddly, he finishes the game with 19 points. Here was a couple quotes from after the game. Also, Kobe White went down with an injury late in the game Wednesday. Hate to see that, but looks like he avoided serious injury, which leads into the DeRozan takeover.
Drive. DeRozan all the way.
Good drive.
1 point game. Caruso to inbound. DeRozan to tie it.
The marvelous DeRozan
Does it again in Indianapolis, and we're going to overtime.
DeRozan is now the favorite to win Clutch Player of the Year. Kings beat Lakers again. Sabonis is now 10-0 in his career versus Anthony Davis. Insane stat there. I want you guys to take a look at the box score from the Rockets game with no Sengun. They are starting Amin Thompson at power forward and Jabari Smith at center. Massive games from a lot of guys here, and you can see 20 and 10 for Thompson. Keep in mind this was versus the Wizards. Another box score was Clippers with no Harden. I think the Bones Highland stat line is a bit of an outlier, but the Paul George assists are not. And then Brunson finished the night with 45 points in a win versus Portland. This segues me into my next point with live bets and halftime bets. With the amount of blowouts lately, live betting is the safest way to bet right now. You're less likely to hit a big lotto, but more likely to be profitable. So I want to go over some of my live bets recently and things I look for. Brunson from last night, I purposely waited to live bet to make sure this wasn't a blowout versus the tanking Trailblazers. I placed this bet before halftime when he was at 15 points. By the time it was halftime, he had 21 points and the odds had lowered. Also a bet from last night, Shea and Tim Hardaway. This bet was placed in the third quarter when Shea had 19 and Tim had 3 threes. Not much to go over with Mr. 30 for Shea, but Tim Hardaway Jr. is a streaky shooter who already had made 3 and was feeling it, so I knew he was going to take a bunch more. On top of that, Luka being out, I anticipated more playing time because they needed his offense. Here's a miss from earlier in the week where we had the right idea but the wrong read. The Nuggets trailed by 20 at halftime to a bad Raptors team, so I bet on the Nuggets to come back. Jokic had around 14 points and Jamal was not in double digits yet. Well, they completed the comeback, but with no MPJ threes. In hindsight, I should have done Jokic 35, not 30, Jamal Murray 25, and not 20, and just completely taken out MPJ threes for Nuggets money line. Here was a live bet from earlier in the year that covers 2 things I look for. 1, field goals attempted. Paul George had 2 points at halftime, but not because he was having a bad game. He had only shot the ball a few times and was letting Kawhi do his thing. More times than not, stars find a way to get their shots by the end of the game. 2, shooters staying hot. If I've made a couple threes, I'm more likely to be aggressive and take some more shots. A few things to note for today. Clippers and Suns are on a back-to-back. Harden is questionable. Cade Cunningham is questionable. No surprise here. Fake injury to make it look like he was hurt last game. RJ Barrett is out. RJ's little brother passed away this week. I can't even imagine what he's going through. Prayers for the Barrett family right now. And then Lauri Markkanen is out, and Bojan Bogdanovic and Jalen Johnson are questionable. All right, Charlotte versus Phoenix. First thing I like is Miles Bridges' points. Remember, Miles wanted to get traded to the Suns at the deadline, on top of Suns owner Matt Ishbia and Miles being close because of their Michigan State ties. On the other side, give me Booker points. Orlando versus Toronto. Give me Paolo and Franz points. Paolo is probably the safer bet. Look at the height advantage on some of these matchups for the Magic. The Raptors have started Abaji at the 4 and Bruce Brown at the 3. Franz and Paolo are as tall as Kelly Olynyk, the Raptors starting center. If Harden's out, I'm going PG assist. Clippers on a back-to-back, so keep an eye on who's playing. Huge game in the standings as the Pels try to catch the Clippers. Denver versus Spurs. If you think this game's close, go Jokic points. If you think this is a blowout, go with Jokic triple-double. Here's a look at the previous matchup. Murray and Porter points, you can never go wrong as well. Hawks versus Jazz. We need to find out who's playing, but this was DeJounte's last game. Highest total on the slate. Murray points, and pick a guard between Sexton and George. Keontae had 26 last game. So those are my picks for tonight. Remember to try to do some live bets tonight. If you typically do 4 bets, maybe save 2 of those bets for live bets. Here's a look at where my head's at for tonight. I will post a bigger payout on Twitter later once we get alt lines and kind of know who's playing and who's not. So best of luck to you guys tonight, and we will check back in Monday.